join. All right, so good afternoon, everybody. Today is March 22nd, and this is live FOMC trading. So we do have FOMC news that's about to be released shortly at 2 p.m. So you can see economic projections, FOMC statement, and federal funds rate. But for this particular folder or event, the actual move happens at 2:30. So between now and 2:30, I do expect a bunch of fake outs, but at 2:30, that's when the Fed will be speaking about these decisions that that have been made or have been released at 2. And so this is the chair who's speaking, and that's Powell. So ideally, when Powell speaks, the market moves up. So I can possibly see US 30 going up, but remember, with all the things happening in the banking sector, I do expect a retracement of US 30 to the downside. But if we do expect a move up, so any move up may happen after 2:30 when Fed Chair Powell starts speaking. So during FOMC, US 30 might trend down. And then once he starts speaking, we can possibly see a spike to the upside. So we can see US 30 is currently in a demand zone. So if we break below this demand zone and at 2:30 price comes back up, this might be around this 30-minute bullish low and bullish high. That might be a good area to set buy orders, because if history is to repeat itself. So remember, more times than not, when Powell speaks, the market normally trends to the upside. Gold, it does have that trend line. And then we did have that analysis on gold, about gold shooting up to the neckline of this head and shoulders on the hourly and coming back down. So this lines up with a possible move to the upside. EU, this is the only trade I'm in right now. EU has just been consolidating. If I get taken out, that's fine. I'll still just be 0.25% down for the day. So I have all my alerts set for the 9 EMA on US 30, gold, and EU. So we just need to see what happens the first 5-minute candle after news. So we'll just wait. And then I'll go over what I was talking. So I did post in the group about, so this indicator we use for the high and low high. Built into it is also an option to give trends. So let me see what time it is. It's 1:55. So right now, if I go and turn off that indicator, the higher high, lower low strategy indicator. So if you look at my chart, you have a bunch of green candles followed by red candles. So this indicator just shows candle color by trend. So if you want to take that out, for example, here, you uncheck where it says change bar color. And once I do that, you can see the candles as they should be: red, green, red, green. But if you have that turned on, where is it? Excuse me, if I go back, select change bar color, this just shows the trend. Now, one thing I've noticed, if you look back and like this is on the 5-minute. So we had this drop to the downside, right? And remember in the morning, we were looking for sells on US 30. So US 30 broke the 9 EMA on the hourly and closed below. But look, this whole time, it was trending down, but the momentum was still bullish. So even though these are red candles, you can see that they're still colored as green to show that the trend was still bullish. But when US 30 broke and closed below the 9 EMA on the hourly here, we saw that the first red candle was formed, right? So what we could have waited for here to continue our sell is a retest of the 200 EMA or the 9 EMA or the trend line, and then we would have captured our sell here, right? So if you keep back testing this strategy just visually, right? So here there was a strong uptrend the whole time. This whole candles were green. The first candle that showed up that was red down here, you can see that the trend changed to red, right? So this is what I was talking about, that indicator that we use for the higher high, lower low strategy. So we'll start incorporating these trends to help us as a confluence, because here we could have easily just waited for the trend to shift to bearish. And then after the first red candle, we could have seen that US 30 closed below the 9 EMA on the hourly. And then we just waited for a retest of the 9 EMA on the hourly. And if I take my cursor right there, you'll see that it lines up with the trend line on the 5-minute right here, or lines up with the 9 EMA on the on the 5 minute, right? And then the trend has kept going down. So right now you can see that the trend is bearish on US 30 based on that indicator. For gold, you can see that the trend, so same thing, right? You can see that the trend is still bullish on gold because you can see the candles are all red. I'm sorry, are all green. Now, for us to sell gold, even in the future, so minus news, if this was just a no news day, if you want a confirmation for a sell, you need to wait for the first red candle to form. So again, that's that indicator we normally use, high, low, low strategy. And just make sure that, what is that? Just make sure that this change bar color is checked so that your candles can go based on the trend. So if you backtest this, same thing for gold, right? It's been bullish this whole time. This one time we got a bearish. So it doesn't happen often. And sometimes, so this is why you need to use this based on confluence. Just a second. We have 2 minutes before news is released. So what I would be looking for here for EU, so since I'm already in a sell, I'm looking for a good bearish candle to be formed. You can see this whole uptrend, this whole time, all of the candles up here are green. So based on the trend, right? So because of course, if I take that selection out, change bar color, you'll see that there are red and green candles in here. But this setting right here allows us to see what the trend is. So if we do get a good red candle, the first red candle, it might show a change to the bearish momentum. So we have 1 minute to news. So remember, at the very least, our first trade will be at 2:15 and not right now. So we're not trading the news candle. And you can see gold here is rejecting from this trend line. So I just drew this trend line. So same as gold. Gold, based on that trend, gold is still bullish. So we either need to focus on one of these assets, either US 30 and gold or US 30 and EU. So I got stopped out of that trade. And so we just need this candle to form. So how I trade these candles. So if this candle closes as a bullish candle, as a strong bullish candle, I need the next candle to retest like 50% or retest structure and close as a bearish candle. And then at that point, I will buy EU or gold or whatever it is. So we need this candle to close. So gold shot up. So everything I'm guessing is shooting up. Perfect. I mean, this is fine. So you can see the trend now has shifted to a bullish momentum. So we need this candle to close and we need the other candle to close. And gold, so let's see where gold is headed to. So gold is headed to where we marked up, right? To the neckline. So let's just observe how these trades will close. So that one EU trade, I got stopped out. So I'm just down 0.25 for the day. Yeah, so I'm down to 0.25 for the day or 0.3 because of spread. So we need to wait for this candle to close, and then we need to wait for the next 5-minute candle to close. Now, this candle again, for me to, so right now the trend is bullish. I need this candle to close as a bullish candle, and then I need the next 5-minute candle to retest. So for example, structure or this trend line close as a bearish candle, not a strong bearish candle, because what they do here, they try to fake people out. And then at that point, if it closes as a bearish candle, I will be entering into a buy for gold. So same as EU, same as, and you can see price is rejecting from all of these zones right here. So same for gold, same for gold, EU, and US 30. So let's see what happens. So we have this first 5-minute candle. We need the next 5-minute candle to close. And hoping you guys can hear me. All right, so just wait. Again, for that strategy, this candle needs to be a strong bullish candle. Because what can happen now, on the other hand, if this candle reverses and closes as an inverted bearish hammer candle, then I will sell. And you can see it's coming back to So it shows that if it closes under the 200 EMA, you can see that trend change, right? So for today, for any trade that I enter, I will be risking 0.5%. So it's ideally a waiting game. There you go. Gold is in, there you go. So gold is in the neckline, is on the neckline, right? So what we expected gold to go. Now for this one, let's see, this is 1969, 1965. I really don't trade the news candle, but I do see a rejection here. The half of this zone is 1969. So call that 1970, 1965. 250, that's 1960. Give me a second. I do see us a potential sell on gold here, because if we do expect the next candle to come and fake out people, so we expect the next candle to close as a bearish candle and then for gold to keep rising. But there's no need for us to waste this move to the downside. So give me one second. I need to see how big of a zone this is. Let's, all right. 2.5, 1967.5. So the mid of this zone is around 1967.5. So it's around this 15-minute bearish high. Okay. So I need this candle to at least come up, test this. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come up there and test that, because I was looking to catch a quick sell down. So this is a good bearish, bullish candle. So now what I expect them to come back down, close, have a bearish candle, and then now at the open of the next 5-minute candle, that's when I'll be looking to catch the move to the upside, to keep riding the move to the upside. So right now, let's see where they can pick liquidity from, either 50% of this candle, maybe this, but this is too risky to catch a buy like on this trend line. So I don't see any possible buy on gold. EU. Okay, so EU right now, that should be at the 50% mark. So what I'll do, I do expect this candle to retrace down, and it's in a sell zone. So what I'll do for EU, EU right there. Let's see. Okay, so right now I am testing out a sell on EU because we're in the middle of a bearish zone or supply zone. So I'm expecting this candle to fake out to the downside. So I'll go for about 20 pips. So remember, this one I'm only risking 5.5%. So personally, I'm going for a 20 pip stop loss. You can go for a higher stop loss if you want. So ideally, I want to recoup some of the losses I have today. So I expect this candle to come down and close as a bearish candle. And then the next candle from here might shoot all the way back up to continue the buy momentum. And there you go, in profit, 10 pips. So remember, this is news. Trade carefully. Let's see if you're already in the trade. Trade carefully. You can put your stop. So ideally, so if you were with me, this EU sell in the morning, we got stopped out by news. But right now we are using this to recover. So we expect this candle to close as a bearish candle, this 5-minute candle, and then we expect EU to keep pushing up. So trade carefully, depending on the lot size you used, you can set break even. Because remember, we're expecting the next candle after this to be a bullish candle. But this candle, I'm expecting them to trap sellers long-term sellers, and then maybe at the very least come up here before any price reversal. But you can see we have supply zones at the top for EU. Right now, the trend is bullish for EU, but we are only using this based on our analysis. And there you go, 15 pips profit for EU. Secure this trade. And right now you should have recovered so you should be break even for the day, right? Because right now the profit I have on this trade is ideally covering the loss that this EU sell did. So again, trade carefully, secure the trade. It's better we start off at break even for the day. So even for me personally, see, we only have a minute and a half to go, right? So what I'll do right here, at the very least, set break even for that trade if you're not closing that trade out. Because remember, we expect this candle to close as a bearish candle, and then the next candle to be a bullish candle. Unfortunately, I don't see any buy zones around this area, but ideally, that's what I want to see. I want to see a buy zone for me to catch the trade to the upside. So see, US 30 did the same thing, bearish candle. Unfortunately, we didn't have any sell. I'm sorry. Gold did exactly the same thing. So it's playing out the news analysis I just told you guys about. So at the very least, set this trade at break even. When this trade was down here, you should have recovered your losses for the day, because we were down 0.25 because we had one win and one loss in the morning. And there you go, come on. And so remember, the next candle, I'm expecting it to be a bullish candle. So no need to risk, even for me, let me just get out. I'll just start at break even for the day. I'm closing this trade out. There you go, full TP, almost full TP. So right now, personally, I'm at break even. I'm a little bit up for the day. There you go, full TP on that EU sell. The next candle, I'm expecting that candle to be a bullish candle. So no drawdown trade, perfect. I'm expecting the next candle, and I'm expecting EU to keep pushing up. So look at this. The trend is still green. That's what I was talking about in the group when I told you guys I found this gem with that this indicator we use for higher high, lower low, because it's changing the bar color. If you have that selected, what that does is your candles go with the trend. So right now the trend is green. So I've been burnt before trying to catch heavy moves like this. Not to say that EU cannot retrace to the downside. Remember that the actual FOMC move happens at 2:30. So right now I did say we expect some fake outs, but we took some quick profit here. We should be at break even for the day. So now we need to look at, and remember, if Powell is speaking, he normally says good stuff about the economy. So we need to start looking for potential buys. So what do I see happening, right? So I'm gonna go to the hourly, nothing major on US 30. I wanna trade either US 30 or EU because we are probably gonna get better moves there. So for a possible buy, where do I see, and of course, I told you guys my empty forward freeze, but at least I caught that trade on my phone. For a possible buy, it's only here at the 30-minute bullish high zone. So price might come down here to the 30-minute bullish high and then shoot all the way up. Now, the reason I do not want to hop into a sell here is because remember, I expect the candle after the news candle, after the first 5-minute news candle, to continue with the trend. So, but there you go, full TP on that EU trade. And right, this is suspicious. So US 30, gold are dropping a bit heavier than EU. Look at how EU is not dropping that heavy, right? So for a sell on EU, I would be looking for a sell on EU at 1.091 area, right? So that's why I have all my alerts ready. So I need, if price keeps going up and up and up, I'll wait for price to close. And we do have a 4-hour bullish high and 4-hour bullish low here, right? So I do expect that continuation. But for me, since we've already caught this trade, this might be a good entry right here at the 4-hour bullish high, bullish low. Remember, a lot of people are trying to catch the reversal. So it's better to do the opposite of what people are expecting. How big is this candle? 75. It might form a bullish hammer candle, but that would be not a strong bullish hammer candle. Okay. Let's see. I want to see. Okay, my chart, of course, definitely frozen, so I don't have access to my trend lines. I think it's the trend lines that make my chart. But anyway, we caught that EU sell, quick profit, quick 20 pips on that trade. So now it's just waiting. I'm trying to see. So look at this candle. So I want us to be paying attention to these candles. So for any change in direction, we need to have a red candle show up. So because that will tell us the trend. So this is ideally, this is a red candle, but what I mean by red candle is the trend, a red trending candle. So you can see right now, we shifted from a downtrend. Now the news candle gave us an uptrend. So if we were to go back to a downtrend, so look at what this is lining up as. So it's lining up on the hourly, the chart to my right. We are nearing the 9 EMA. So if we get a red candle that closes and breaks, closes below the 9 EMA on the hourly, so there you go, we are almost going below the 9 EMA, then we can catch a sell, right? Because if you backtest this just visually, look, the trend here was still bullish. We got the first bearish candle, we got this retest, and this retest, as I went over, aligned with the retest of the 9 EMA on the hourly. We got continuation. So actually this morning, if I had noticed this, I mean, I've always known that my candles go with the trend, but I've never really paid too much attention on backtesting what we can use them with. But here, if we just waited for a sell here, we could have waited to have a red candle. We have a retest of the 9 EMA on the hourly because this one retested the 9 EMA on the hourly and retested our trend line. And then we could have caught a very fat sell here. So, right, looking back here, if we were looking for buys here, of course, this one would have gotten stopped out because we had a change in volume or change in trend to, I don't want to call it trend, change in momentum, change in direction, because trend is like directional. But here personally, I wasn't looking for buys. But here, if we were looking for buys, this one would have gotten stopped out. Let's just look at this. Let's just say you're trading this strategy. Remember, I'm just waiting for the next 5-minute candle to close. Give me 1 second. Okay, so there you go. So the two candles closed as bearish candles, but you can see we are shifting to the upside. So let me just keep going with that. So if you're just trading that, just one indicator or strategy, this whole trend is green, or momentum is green. You have the first red candle, you hop in a sell, depending on your take profit. I think this only went down like 20 pips. So let's keep going. You have a sell momentum, first green candle, retest, golden cross, you enter into a buy. But I'm not just saying we're going to be trading just that. So this is just going to help us act as a confluence. So let's see what's happening here. So we are still in a green momentum. This is a sell zone because this is a bearish high and bearish low. At this point, I would say let's wait for either price to close below the 9 EMA on the hourly. I'm sorry, we get a candle closing below the 9 EMA on the hourly for US 30 for any sell. I don't see any buy. The only buys are down here. We are at a 30-minute bearish high, bearish low. So we are actually in a sell zone, but still the momentum is to the upside. So I wouldn't be trying to catch this sell.
You talking about gold?
Yes. So again, so remember, I do expect this instruments to shift up. So our strategies: retest of the trend line, retest of the 9 EMA, or retest of structure. So this could have been a buy on gold. I did miss that at 1953, the retest of that 9 EMA. So right now, personally, I'm looking for buys on everything. If gold comes back down, so let's see where it can come back down at. So it's already retested there. So this could have been a good trade, but that's fine. I wasn't on the chart. So the optimal or the best entry would be the retest of this trend line right here. So retests of this trend line will line up with the structure, but we'll actually have structure right here. So if we get another retest of this structure, actually no, let's not force a trade. The best trade for gold would be retest of the 9 EMA. I'm sorry, the trend line. EU, nothing for EU. We already made money on EU. US 30. So this right here, so everything is bullish. I am looking for buys on everything. It's just a matter of just waiting for the confluences to align. Let's see. Okay, so right now, you should be break even for the day because we had one winning trade in the morning. We lost on EU. News spiked us out, but we recovered here with the 0.5% risk. So you should be at break even or slightly above break even for the day. So for me, the goal of today is for you guys to learn how to trade or how I trade news. So if I recoup this, the reason we took the sell. So normally I look for a strong bearish or bullish candle. And then if I get that, I expect a fake out to the downside. And then I expect a continuation to the upside. So we got a strong bullish candle on EU because that's what I was looking for. And EU, the best thing about it, it lined up with this supply zone up here. And ideally the middle, literally the middle of this. No, actually it lined up with the 4-hour bullish low, which I just by eyeballing it, it looks like the middle of this zone. So we got that. So we rode our expectation to the downside. And then now I expect them to push up. But right now, the only place I would be looking to buy EU is a break and retest of the 4-hour bullish low. So that's what I expect this with everything, gold, EU, and US 30. So right now, I think they're just bringing the market down. And then when Powell speaks at 2:30, which is in 10 minutes, we'll see a spike. So now we need to start looking for entries to ride price up. So US 30, I don't see any obvious. So US 30, the buy for me is down here. So I need price to come back down here around the bullish high and bullish low. So just, you should be break even for the day if you've been trading for me, or with me. So no need to rush anything. So no need to rush price. Let price just come to you. And let me see if I can get my MT4 back up. Right, and look at all these candles, green candles, right? The momentum is bullish. So now for a sell, I need a red candle to show up, a 5-minute red candle. So I'm almost sure right here, even on the 1 minute, all candles are green. We don't even have a red candle on the 1 minute on any of these assets, right? So the momentum, all candles, the momentum is green. So no need to try and catch any reversals. So you can see price is respecting the 9 EMA. Unless you want to keep hopping in on the retest, which I don't recommend during news, you can do that. Just know we're looking for, personally, I'm looking for buys. So if something aligns with your buy strategy, unfortunately, my MT4 that has trend lines is frozen. But wait, just a second. This is 556. Now, if we get a bullish hammer candle here, I will buy US 30. So if this 5-minute candle closes as a bullish hammer candle, I will be buying US 30. Let's see. And I do expect price to die, volatility to die down before 2:30, before Powell speaks. So I do expect liquidity to just die down. Okay, so let's see. So there is this trend line for US 30, price rejected from a trend. I'm just watching my MT4. Okay. Okay, at least my MT4 with the trend lines is back up. But for a buy, I would be looking for this candle to close as a bullish hammer candle. The only thing is that we are so close to news, we can get some manipulation, but it's fine. We already made money from EU. Okay. So I'm looking at possible places to set pending orders. So for EU, definitely a pending buy would be around 1.05, 1.08577. But for that one, so that one is tricky, right? I don't want to set it before 2:30. Like I don't want to set it before Powell starts speaking because they can easily spike up and spike back down. So I need a good confluence for that. All right, gold. Yes, so you can see everything is dying. Um, does anybody have any questions regarding anything? I'm still waiting for 2:30. And what I'll do here, I have one of this. Okay, perfect. US 30. So let's just wait. I don't see any good buy on US 30. I really want to catch US 30 because with that one we can make quick in and out money. EU, one reason I'm worried to trade a buy on EU in this zone, and you can see EU is not moving as volatile as gold. So you can see gold had two big bearish candles. EU had just one bearish candle that's good. The other one was not that big of a bearish candle. So especially we are in a supply zone, within a supply zone. So let's just not focus on EU for now. Let me see if I can find anything for US 30. All right, so we have a high that's established on the 5-minute. So that's good. So let's draw that. So so this is a hanging trend line. Because on the 5-minute, because this has not yet been established as a high on the hanging trend line. So our candles are still green. So the momentum is still to the upside. We are retesting the 9 EMA on the hourly. It's 4 minutes to news. So still waiting. We don't have any buy zones, but ideally the buy, let me mark up a buyer just to be ready. So that's a sell. So I'm looking for a buy on US 30.
What do you think about US 30? A sell, a quick scalp.
If it's before news, like I don't even have anywhere to sell. So for a sell on US 30, it has, if I were to take a sell, it has to close below the 9 EMA. At the very least, it has to close below the 9 EMA
Oh,
and close below the 30-minute bearish high and bearish low that's right here. But right now you can see the 9 EMA is supporting the price up. So this is the best place to sell. So one thing can happen. They can spike price down, pick up liquidity and shoot back up. Just a second. they can spike price down and shoot back up, or this is why I wouldn't want to get into a sell here, because just wait, like at 230 you'll see some spikes. So even though we're expecting it to go up, it can just shoot all the way up and not come down until, so nothing is stopping US 30 from going up until 33,000 area. So 33,000, 32.9 something, and you see we have a 4-hour bullish high. So I'm expecting US 30 to go up. The question is, are they going to come and fill the buy down here, or are they going to go all the way straight up? So yes, I can look for a sell, but I don't want to risk that. It's, for me, it's not worth it. I'll just rather end the day at break even, because we've already had 2 wins and 1 loss for the day. So um
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
So the main thing for today is to learn that price action. So this is what I wanted to show you guys exactly. Look for a bullish candle, look for a retracement, wait for the next move is bullish. The opposite is true. If we had a bearish candle, we could have waited for a retracement to the top and then caught it to the downside. Because trust me, I've blown a lot of accounts trying to catch a sell. So I can see people here caught a sell, maybe did not secure, and then they try to keep selling, keep selling, keep selling. And then by the time price is up here, you've blown your account. So I've definitely blown accounts trying to catch a reversal without using a strategy. But right now, since we have a strategy in place, this is just a patience game. So it is 2:29 p.m. Let's see, 2:30. Now, if US 30 breaks this demand zone right here, where is US 30 likely to head? So if it breaks this demand zone, I am looking for a sell. I need a red candle to show up, a red momentum candle to show up. So if you're still joining, if you've just joined the session, when I mean a red candle, I don't mean a red, just a regular red candle. So the indicator we're using, higher high, lower low strategy, there's an option in there. And when you there's an option in there to change bar color. So this is what I mean. So if you have this selected, the candles will just be going with momentum or trend, quote unquote trend. So that's another confluence we'll be using for that.
My
So
fault. I missed it. What's the adjustment to make with that?
so if you just set it, if you just put it on your chart by default, you shouldn't change anything. So your candles should look like mine. But if I uncheck the change bar color, my candles would look like normal, right? Red candles, green candles, yada, yada, yada. But if I change, if I have that checked and this comes by default, your candles will go with a trend. So the way you, like for me, I can tell this is a red candle, a red normal candle, because the outline of the candle is red. Even though the body of the candle is green, the outline of the actual candle is red. So that's how I'm able to tell a bullish from a bearish candle. But when you have that checked, the candles you get are trend candles or momentum candles. And if you just back test that just visually, right? You can just be using this to buy and sell easily, right? You wait for after a bull, let me just call this momentum. After bullish momentum, you wait for the first red candle, wait for a confluence, sell, right? After a bearish momentum or trend, wait for the first green candle. This was a news candle, so I wouldn't close that. I wouldn't involve that or count that. And there you go, that bullish move. But unfortunately, we do not have anything to ride it up with. Wait for the change, wait for a confluence and buy. So this is what I was talking about. We'll start using this as a confluence. So if you just visually back test, you'll see how you can easily make money just by following the candle color. Yes. So of course, was expecting US 30 to go up, but unfortunately, the only buy for US 30 is down here. EU is going up. I'm not really looking to trade EU. So gold, the other thing with gold, it came up. So you remember the analysis in the morning, go up here, complete this neckline, and then come back down. Gold literally came up to the neckline of the head and shoulders, and then now gold is dropping back down. But for any sell on any of these assets, I need a red candle. I need a change in momentum or change in trend. Like if I get this candle, and I think we saw the change in trend will be maybe closure below this zone right here, which aligns with closure below the 90 MA on the hourly. So that's the only time I will look for a sell. And that would be perfect if we get a red candle here, because we can ride price down to this zone and try to see if we can find a buy. But if we do get a red candle here, more than likely price is going to keep going down. So remember, after 2:30, for the rest of the night, price is more than likely going to trend in one way. So if I get a red candle here, I will be taking a sell. And again, red candle, I mean a red momentum candle, not just a regular red bearish candle. I'll be taking a sell and looking to ride price down, to keep riding price down. Yeah, so right now I'm still break even for the day. Thank God we caught that sell on EU after the news scandal. So yeah, and you can see how price is ideally dead. So this is not a market you want to be trapped in, because price is just gonna be in and out of your entry. So I'm more than likely just gonna stick to US 30, because I know once it breaks, once it starts a trend, that's going to be a very good move. So today is a day that you can catch 100 pips easily on US 30. So we just have to be patient and wait. I don't know if anybody caught that EU sell. If you started the live session with me. But if you did, I know this EU buy from earlier, we hit stop loss on that during news, but we were able to recover this with a 0.5% risk. So that brought us back to break even for the day. Trying to see if we can use this trend line for, yeah, no, okay. So that's what I need. I just need more volatility. So it's very possible that this hourly candle is going to close as a bearish candle. So there you go. Price is coming down. So we need a 5-minute candle to close below the 90 MA on the hourly. So the 90 MA is around here on the hourly, and that's for a sell. But the perfect one would be a retest. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete these trend lines. Oh, just the one. So right now I'm looking for a closure below the 90 MA on the 5-minute. So the 90 MA, the hourly 90 MA on the 5-minute, because look at that. We are possibly forming an inverted bearish hammer candle on the hourly. So just gotta be careful here. Trend is still green. So this particular trade right here, so we need this candle to close. So no need to hop in on impulse, because one of two things is going to happen. This candle is either going to close below the 90 MA on the hourly, or it can reverse all the way back up and create a strong bullish hammer candle, right? So either way, whether it's for a buy or for a sell, I need this candle to close at the very least. So we have 3 minutes for that to happen. A lot can happen in 3 minutes. So we need to wait for this particular candle to close. So gold is dead, EU is dead. Look at that. So EU is creating a bullish hammer candle. Okay. Yeah, for this trades, we need to be just careful. So again, today I'm risking 0.5% for trading FOMC. So whether you're entering on impulse, like my best entry would be if this closed as a bullish hammer candle, then at that point I will get in. And if this is your first time trading news, you can use like smaller lot sizes. And there you go. That's why we need a closure of that candle. If that candle closes as a bullish hammer candle, we will take off to the upside. So I'm just ready on my phone. Wow. How many more minutes? 2 minutes. I don't know if anybody else's FTMO is frozen. I even took it off of Wi-Fi. I don't want to miss this. Let's see. Wow. So if that closes, so we have 1 minute. So look at that, EU. There you go with EU. So if you had a pending buy order, but I did say I wasn't looking to trade that. Yeah, so US 30 should be following suit. My even my FTMO on my phone is frozen. This will be a buy for US 30 if it closes as a bullish hammer candle. Let me try resetting. Come on, there you go. US 30 trade. So just be patient, you'll get an entry. Now we need to look at where price is, look at the optimal entry. But for this one, I will enter on impulse. I am risking, what am I risking? 0.5%. So whatever trade you're using or whatever lot size you're using, just risk 0.5%. There you go, come on. So we know we have a lot of buyers right here, and you can always still not a bearish hammer candle, but you can see we have a lot of buyers here. You can put your stop loss below that candle if needed. No, we would need a good closure. I really don't want a bearish candle, really. No. Yeah, this is a tricky candle. It's from the 9 EMA. So let's see. I did not get in yet. I really wanted a bearish candle, and there you go. I missed that trade. I don't know if anybody entered, but personally, I wanted a bearish hammer candle because I saw that on EU and gold. But personally, I did not enter it. I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah, I ain't into that either. That's like that was indecisive
Yeah,
candle right there.
yeah, that was in the yeah. See, like I wanted a candle like this or like this on gold, but it's fine. Don't it should come back down. Now the question is, where would the entry be? But again, see, if I'm risking 0.5%, I want to be safe, or I want to have confidence in a trade. I don't know how. So EU went up 571, almost went up 20 pips. So that's fine. So this got established as a high on the 5-minute. So let's have a hanging trend line right there. So we can see what's holding US 30 up. Okay. Just gotta be patient. If we miss the trade, we miss it. But just gotta be patient. Now, if we miss this trade and US 30 takes off, so I do have my alerts set up, my 9 EMA alerts. I will be, because I expect if these three assets start trending, the trend will end maybe Asia session or London session, or maybe close to market close, actually maybe Asia session. So I will be looking for a 5-minute candle to close below the 9 EMA and retest the 9 EMA, and then I'll ride that sell pretty heavy. So keep in mind, this can still close. So this candle came here, seemed like it was gonna close as a bearish candle on the hourly. and then came back up. So this hourly candle can still close as a bearish candle. So this is, to me, this is also very sus on US 30, because because ideally right here for FOMC, this is 712. This is not too big of a move. Ideally for FOMC, you want to see a trend. So ideally, I consider this just a bunch of manipulation to the upside, to the downside. What you really want to see is a confirmation of direction to one side. So EU has already chosen a direction. Gold has picked a direction. So I wouldn't be, even when gold comes up here, I'm not going to look for any sell on gold. I'm not going to look on any sell on EU as well. For any sells, I will wait for price to close below the 9 EMA and retest the 9 EMA. So currently we do not have any entries for EU or gold. So that's how I plan on addressing gold. US 30, we might get an opportunity for US 30 still, because you can see every other asset is trending heavily up, but US 30 is still stuck. So there's something sus on US 30. So I wouldn't be surprised if this candle comes down and closes as a inverted bearish hammer candle. So yeah, unfortunately we missed this trade because for me that didn't count as a strong or as a bullish hammer candle. It was more of an indecisive candle for me. Now, if we do get let's see the trend line, because we might get a retest of the trend line. Okay, so this trend line seems to stick on the 1 minute. So if we do get, so let me come down here on the 1 minute and stick it to the higher high. Now, if we do get a retest of this trend line and closure above, that might be our chance to hop onto the trend to the upside. So we need to wait for price to come back down here, retest this trend line and close above. On the 1 minute, we can probably get that trade, and there price is coming back down. Let's see, let's go back up there. Okay. So this might be the candle, and it looks like it might also test the 9 EMA. So just patience for this entry. And you can see we've started having a red trend form on the 1 minute. So this is why I'm not yet convinced US 30 has taken off. Because ideally for such heavy news days, you normally have a lot of, so there's a trend line holding US 30 up here, like where it is, but I really do not want to mess that, because there's an opportunity to ride price back down, but I don't want to mess with that, especially US 30. So on my MT4, I do see a trend line that's holding US 30 up at this zone, but I don't want to mess with that. Yep, that's exactly why. Yeah, so if we don't catch any trades, at least we caught one. We should be back at break even. We caught a sell on EU when news started. So the only thing I would be looking for here, honestly, and you can see how price has started being away from so this is what I talked about. They normally do this to trap people who are catching the reversal. So here I do see people just trying to sell and sell and sell and sell, and then they end up blowing their account. And I'm pretty sure we'll see that tomorrow on the live session. We'll see where the perfect reversal would have been. So the best thing, at least I'm happy I have a full margin to play with right now. So I just need either for this trade to come back down and fill us in, or I'll just wait till price closes below the 9 EMA on the 5 minute and retest the 9 EMA. So this sucks. 565. Yeah, could have ridden US 30 up. EU still going. I need this to be. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get any other entry, to be honest. And there she goes all the way up. I'm really trying to bring my MT4 back up. This is I may have to close out of. Wow, most of my computer is ideally just frozen.
Before you end advising, could you show me the indicator? Because the one that I'm picking, default doesn't come like that.
Okay, sure. Just a second. And task. I'm trying to close out all of these MT4s. And task. Oh, you know what? I think it's this one. Right. You mean the one that has the changing, or the candles are with the
Yeah, the
trend?
high low.
Okay, all right. We'll do. I'm trying to configure something with one of my live accounts here. Give just this. And then I change this to. Okay. I think I have that set. Open this. All right. Let me guess. US 30 is still going up. So for any buy, unfortunately we missed that buy at the bottom. But we do have closure above this zone, above this structure, but we do have a supply zone up there. Yeah, so I don't recommend risking or pushing anything. Let me get this MT4s open so that I show you that indicator. Yeah, looks like today, the whole of today, the US 30 gods don't want us to catch any trade on US 30.
That indicator's on TradingView, right? Not
Yeah,
MT4.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's because my so I have a live account. I have some live accounts on MT4. So that's the ones I want to make sure that everything is set, because I don't like my MT4s freezing. I mean, when my main one is freezing, that's fine, but because I can trade on my phone. Yeah, so for this one, indicator, it's the higher high, lower low strategy with source code. This one, the 5,000 one, the one that has 5,000 downloads or whatnot. And then if you, by default, it should change your candle color. So by default,
Yeah,
this.
my default is blue. So I'll
Okay.
just change it, I guess, myself.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So for me, I have green for bullish and red for bearish. So what this will do, like if I uncheck this option, you'll see that my candles ideally will be what the market is doing, bullish candle, bearish candle, and whatnot. But if you have that option checked, your candles will go by the trend or by momentum, right? But then how you know whether you have a bullish candle, it's a bearish candle. For example, a bearish candle within a trend, you will see the outline of that candle is red. So for example, this right here is a bearish candle, like without putting any filters or any indicator. But right now you can see the body is green, but the outline of this body is red. So same thing with a bullish candle in a downtrend. So this is one of the things I want us to use as confluences. Yeah. Going forward. What else? What else? So US30, to me, US30 is still sus, very suspicious. So the best thing that can happen here is, now if this hourly candle comes back and closes below the 9 EMA, we might have a good reversal. So let's just hang on for a little longer and see if we can find anything. But everything right now is bullish. US30 is bullish based on these trends, and it's also above the 9 EMA. We might get this entry right here. Now, a good entry would be a retest of the 9 EMA. So let's see if we get that entry, and it would line up with the weekly high. But for this particular trade, to be honest, instead of risking 0.5%, I might go with a 0.25 risk. Because you can see the stop loss is just there, and these candles have a lot of volatility. So like a retest of the 9 EMA would be a good entry. And see if we can catch that. So, but we need that candle to close. We need that candle to close and see the reaction around this zone. It's also retesting the trend line. So let's go to the 1 minute. We need a perfect retest of the trend line. And we don't want like a red candle to form on the 1 minute. So we need a perfect retest of the trend line and closure above the trend line for any buy. But you can see we are almost, you see like how that candle opened. It's almost being like a red candle. So we do not need a red candle to show up on the 1 minute. So we need a retest of this trend line and closure above for a buy for US30. Okay, so just at the trend line, you can see we are gaining some sell momentum. Gold is doing some reversals. EU is doing some reversals. So this trade, we need to be careful. So again, I need a retest, and I do not do bearish hammer candles on the 1 minute. So this retest will align with a trend line to the upside. So let's just wait. And you can see I need a retest. I don't need, so that's a retest. So I don't need that candle to break that trend line whatsoever. So no, yeah. Yep, so that's invalid. So even if it closes above the trend line, to me that's invalid because it shows a lot of sellers, a lot of selling momentum. So for any buy here, I need the 1 minute to do a perfect retest and closure above. I don't need a candle to break that trend line in any way. Because you can see how these assets have started reversing. Okay. I don't need that candle to break the trend line. No. So depending on your interpretation, for me, because my entries are normally to the pip, so let me make sure this trend line is actually okay. So this candle, because I changed this to actually touch that higher high. All right, so let's see how that candle will close. That candle should not break that trend line. And anyway, see, it's still at the trend line, 15 seconds to go. No. Yeah, no. So now that price is there, we need there's a possibility for a reversal. We need for a sell, we need a red candle on the 5-minute. So this is just the fake outs I'm talking about. Like 1 minute, it's showing it's going up, and there you go. We have a red candle on the 1 minute. We need this candle on the 5-minute. Now for a risky sell, I would call it a risky sell. It would be a retest of this trend line and closure below on the 1 minute. Because right now, if we've already started seeing a bearish trend forming on the 1 minute, this is likely to filter up to the 5-minute. But I don't like backtesting this strategy. So it holds on the 1 minute, but you can see how the 1 minute is volatile. But you see, like here, it held that change in momentum, in trend. Here, it did not hold. So this is it would be a risky sell. But for me, I would take that because it's also in a 30-minute bearish high or bearish low. So if we get a retest of this trend line and closure below on the 1 minute, I will sell US30. But I need this trend line again to be retested. Remember, we have not had a retest of this trend line. So no need to rush anything. Remember, we need a confirmation on the 5-minute. We need one of these candles to close as a red candle. So all these others are coming down. At this point, this is a patience game. So 5 minutes, remember, trend is still bullish or momentum is still bullish because all the candles up here are green candles. On the 1 minute, we've had a break in trend or break in momentum to bearishness. So if we get a retest of this trend line of the 9 EMA, and you can see the gap to the downside. So there's definitely sellers around here. So a retest of this trend line will align with the 30-minute bearish high and low, and will align with the trend line and will align with the 9 EMA. So I need a retest of the trend line and the 9 EMA and this zone and closure below on the 1 minute for me to sell US30. So remember, after these news events, you normally have a trend that shows up. So this may be the trend. Maybe there was a fake out to the upside, and now the actual trend is to the downside. So we just need some confirmation. And I can see a death cross forming on the 5-minute because you can see the 9 EMA is coming towards the 200 EMA. So let's just be patient. For now, I'll delete this because looking for a short position. So not to worry, even though price is going, let it just do its thing. Everything is reversing, perfect. This is what we want. Keep an eye out on price closing. So look at that analysis, shift to the upside, retracement, move to the upside. This played out perfectly. I'd said I'm not gonna set a pending buy order for EU, and that's just me. So when I make this analysis, you can trade on your own. But personally, I wasn't gonna set that because I'm waiting for some of these confluences to align. So normally when a death cross or golden cross forms, you normally have price doing a retest of that area. So even though price goes away from us here, that is fine. At this point, since this trend line is broken to the downside and it's breaking in between candles, and I don't like trend lines breaking in between candles. For now, I will delete this trend line and I will use the 9 EMA and the 30-minute bearish high as confluences. I know we are in a buy zone down here, but price is closing below the 9 EMA. So for any buys, just make sure you use proper risk management. Yeah, so US 30 to me is bearish. EU and gold are still slightly bullish. So for me, I really want to trade with momentum. The only caveat to that is if we get a bullish hammer candle here. 21. Yeah, that's the only time I'll enter a buy for US 30. But I can see this golden cross, I'm sorry, death cross coming in on the 5-minute. So let's see if we can catch one good trade to put us up today. Okay, there you go. So we are getting a red candle on the 5-minute, possibly. And I'm almost sure this is breaking a trend line. So if we get a red candle here, we now need to think, where is price likely to retrace? Oh, God, I wish you guys told me about the hourly candle. Price closed below the 9 EMA on the hourly. That was the entry right there. Because that was what, 4 minutes ago? So this candle price closed below the 9 EMA on the hourly. We would have been looking for retest of the 9 EMA. So this was the entry right here for a sell. Because I told you guys this candle on the hourly can come. So this is the trade initially we were looking for. That's fine. Let's see if we'll get it. But that was the
Real quick,
Mhm.
Vazen. So you look for the retest on the hourly alone, not the 5-minute on
No, no.
the
So this is only because we are trading news on the hourly. And look at that, because we got a remember, price went up during this hour and then it came back down heavily. And then I did say on the hourly, if we get a 5-minute closure below the 9 EMA on the hourly, we would get a red candle, right? So this was to be our sell, but I said we need to wait for closure. And then this candle went all the way up. So it went all the way up, price went all the way up here on the hourly. Guess what? Price came all the way back down, closed below the 9 EMA 5 minutes ago. So with this candle, closed below the 9 EMA. So what we would have done, waited for a retest of the 9 EMA, which was around here, the 9 EMA on the hourly, and then we sell. So this was the sell right here. But so I only trade that during news or during when price has not closed below the 9 EMA for a long time. I don't know why I missed that. But we should get another retest of the 9 EMA. So right now, looking for sells on US 30. I'm not even going to look at gold and EU. So look at that. And with some of these candles, after a change in trend, you can catch a quick 10 or 20 pips. But I'm not. Look at that. This candle dropped 20 pips. But I'm looking for a retest of. We've just done a death cross. Now I'm looking for a retest of that 9 EMA. But this was the trade right here based on what I've been waiting for. Because I was waiting for a 5-minute to close below the 9 EMA on the hourly. And that's this candle right here is the one that closed below the 9 EMA on the hourly. So this was that trade right there. Man, missed like 3 trades today, but it's all good. So for this one, I need a retest. So when a death cross or golden cross happens, you normally get a retest of the 9 EMA. So I'm looking for price to come back up. And this is perfect. If you're looking for sells, I want to see these red candles. So I'm looking for price to come back up and retest the 9 EMA. And at that point, I will sell US 30. Uh, yeah, I mean, today's, I guess it's a lesson learned today, so nothing much you can do. But yeah, so that's the only, this cell right here, that's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, so everything else is coming down. So this is the trend. I think the now the trend for US 30 and gold for the next few hours is a sell. This was another sell zone right here up here, but I wasn't looking at EU. Uh, so you guys just keep an eye out on this zones, right? So this price came up here. Keep an eye out on this supply zones within supply zones. So for me personally, the only trades I'm looking for are official trades that count. If I was trading by myself, trust me, I would have taken like a few trades already. But I just want to, show you guys patience and discipline, and all of that. But if I was trading alone, um, there are a lot of trades I could have taken because you can always set pending orders. You see these zones, like especially supply zones within supply zones or demand zones within demand zones. You could have set a pending order right here. This zone wasn't that big. This zone was only 20 pips or 15 pips. You could have done a pending sell for EU up there. So, okay, so we have a closure below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute on EU. And then we have a retest of the 9 EMA. So if this candle closes below, I will enter a sell on EU, risk 0.5%. So chart, uh, trade, and I may hold this longer. So 13 seconds. Oh God, I have a big lot size set up. No, I'm not using that big of a lot size. And I am in that trade right now for EU. I'm in an EU sell. So this is what I want to see. It's around the same area that we took that. So this one I'm only risking again 0.5%. Have a 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. Again, the best sell on EU was all the way up there, but that's fine. Let's see, US 30. Yeah, today we just missed too many because we should be done trading by now. So right now, what's most likely gonna happen is a break in the trend. So it's retesting exactly the top of that zone. So this trade again, risk 1:1. So, but what I'll do, I want to ride this trade longer for 50 pips. So I will do that. So this is perfect. It's retesting exactly the top of that supply zone within a supply zone. So this candle should hopefully close as a bearish candle and close below, get some momentum to the downside. So my stop loss, I'm risking 0.5%, but I'm using a bigger stop loss. US 30 is literally breaking all the trend lines to the downside. But instead, so you can still risk 0.5% and use a bigger stop loss, because you can always use like a 40 pip stop loss or 50 pip stop loss, but just maintain your risk as the same. So ideally for this trade is a 1:1, 20 pip take profit, 20 pip stop loss. But for me, I want to ride it longer because I can see a trend forming for a sell. US 30 has not yet retested anything. Gold retested the top of that trend line and the 9 EMA is coming back down. So EU is in profit now, should be in profit now. And actually, if I just win this trade for today, I should be Should be happy even though we missed US 30. Hmm. Nothing on gold, nothing on US 30. US 30 rejecting from a demand zone, but I am not, I don't know why I keep missing trades today. That was a possible right back up, but we'll just let it go. So long as it doesn't come back up here, and the way I tell you, you guys, these zones are, you only get one shot, like especially if a zone is this small, so there's no need to re-enter it to the upside. So this entry will keep going lower and lower because I do expect the 9 EMA to be retested and then a shift to the downside. EU, the momentum is still bullish. Gold the same. US 30 is the only one that the momentum of the candlesticks on the 5-minute have changed. So if we go on the 1 minute for EU, let's see what we find. So even on the 1 minute, we still do not yet have a red candle. But that was a valid trade because price closed below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute for the first time. We had a retest of the 9 EMA exactly and closure below. So even if it gets stopped out, that is fine. I'm not sure I'm gonna look for any trades because now if I get stopped out on this, I'll only be down. So we'll have 2 wins, two losses, and I'll just be down 0.5% for the day. All right. Yeah. Even for this trade, look at where it's lining up with. It's lining up with a 15-minute bullish high, bullish low. So honestly, I wouldn't recommend you guys to take that trade when US 30 comes back up there, because you can see where the sell entry would be lining up. It would be lining up with a demand zone and with a bullish high, bullish low. So if this trade hits stop loss, I'm not sure that I really want to keep trading. Because at this point, I'll just be down 0.5% for the day because we've had 2 wins and 2 losses. We did have a win when we started the live session today. This was a valid trade. If it hits stop loss, that's fine. US 30. So I just see a lot of manipulation to the upside and to the downside before the real before the real trend breaks out. So let's see how this will hold. But right now, I'm still bullish. The momentum environment is still bullish on the 5-minute on EU. Even on the 5-minute, we still don't have any red candle on the 1 minute. So we'll just let that ride. If you enter this trade right here, just make sure to use proper risk management. and it might be a quick trade. But keep in mind, it's coming to a bullish 30-minute bullish highs and bullish lows. So just be wary of those. Yeah, because this one we might get stopped out. But we need that retest and rejection from the 9 EMA on the 5-minute. Yeah, because this trade right here can easily spike up and stop us out. Okay, so I think EU hit stop loss, right? Yeah, so EU got stopped out on EU. Yeah, so I am not touching EU or gold again. That's why I like US. That's why I've been just looking for US 30 because I can recover US 30 easily. So right now, down 0.5% for the day because we had that one loss on EU in the morning that we got stopped out by news. We had a win on gold in the morning, that one, and then we had a win on EU when news started, but right now we just got stopped out. Yeah, so if you're good with being down 0.5% for the day, so remember, normally I stop, if I hit -2% for the day, that's when I'm actually done. But right now the market is just trash. This is the last saving grace for me. So if you can risk 0.5% for this trade and whatever you're gonna win, you should be able to come back to break even. I would say take it, but keep in mind we have a 30-minute bullish low and bullish high right there. So the trade can easily just go away from us. So I have one more 0.5% that I can risk for this trade. I might even go with a bigger lot size and get out earlier. But I need a good retest of that zone. Let's see. EU again, bullish. Gold is 50-50, so we haven't even looked at gold. US 30 is still bearish, in my opinion. So let me see, US 30. Wait for how it rejects from there. And let's see the rejection from this zone. I need it to come back down. No. I need it to come back down. So remember, if we're trading this and look at that trend line right there. So this is the only moment. No, so it's still going back up. Yeah, this is just a fake out kind of day. So we need these candles to close. We don't need them to keep firing up that way. So we have this trend line right here. We have this 9 EMA. So we need this candle to close below. So A at this point, close below the trend line for a quick retest. So just wait on it. So no need to jump in. Again, risk 0.5% so that if you hit stop loss, then you're just down 1% for the day. So wait for the close of this candle. So we have 2 minutes for that. because this is the next best entry for US 30. Perfect, perfect. So I needed to close below. We have 2 minutes. Let's go to the 1 minute because what we are looking for is a retest of that trend line and closure below. This is the trend line right here. So let's wait for the 1 minute to close and retest that trend line to the bottom. So again, 0.5% risk for this trade again, so that if you do hit stop loss, you're only down 1% for the day. But for this one, wait for. So if you get an entry, okay, perfect. On the 1 minute, that's fine. It still lines up with the 5 minutes. So we need a retest on the 1 minute. We need a retest of that trend line on the 1 minute. So we need a good retest and closure below. Or a closure below on the 5 minute. So we have 57 seconds for this candle. So long as we stay below this trend line for this candle and we get a retest and closure below, that would be the entry. All right, so 38 seconds. I don't want to see a break above. And it's being held by the 9 EMA. This is perfect. And for me, this trade, I will risk 1.25%. So I'll go in a bit heavier. Don't want it to drop too far. 9 seconds, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I don't want that big drop. Okay, so I'll enter on impulse for this trade right here. So remember, I'm risking 1.25%, so I'm going in heavy because I want to just be done with this day, honestly. So there you go. Drop further. I don't like being on the 1 minute. The 1 minute can just mess up your psyche. Okay, so look at this. We're closing above the 9 EMA. We are closing above the 9 EMA and retesting the 9 EMA, retesting a demand zone. So if you did go in with a bigger lot size, like 1.25%, and want to get out early, you should have been able to recover the 0.5% you are down. So just use proper risk. If you did risk 1.25% for this trade, you should have recovered your loss for today. So either set break even or just scale out. So right now you should be at break even for the day if you just decided to close out and just wait for tomorrow. Because personally, so for this trade, I said I'm going in with 1.25%. I went in with a 50 lot on this trade. So right now, ideally, I should be out of this trade. So I will get out at, there you go. So I am closing out of this trade with a good amount of money. Set break even if you're still in this trade. There we go. Finally, we got our trade for US 30. Now I am up heavily for the day. I am up almost 1.5% for the day. So started off as being down 0.5%. We waited and waited. So we finally got our trade. We got stopped out here. And this is why, honestly, I don't like trading EU and gold during heavy news, because sometimes when volatility dies down, you just get trapped and faked out. But we were able to recover that trade. I am up almost 2% for the day. So did anybody catch this? I'm guessing you guys caught this. And if you caught this with a 1.25%, like with a 50 lot, you would be up. You'd be up almost you'd be up heavily, right? Because it's 500 times 7, so you'd be up like a lot. Does anybody have any questions for any of the strategies we went through? So luckily, so not luckily, our analysis played out perfectly. So expected, well, not expected. I was waiting for either a strong bullish candle or a strong bearish candle, the first 5-minute news candle, and then I waited for a retracement. So that's how we were able to catch this sell on EU, because we expected price to come and trap sellers, and then we expected price to keep going up. And there you can see it played out exactly as I marked up. So same thing with gold, went up, faked buyers or sellers to the downside and kept trending up. That's how they make people blow their accounts and get trapped. US 30 was a bit tricky for today because we had a bunch of consolidation before the move up, but US 30, same thing, went up, retraced down, went back up. I prefer trading US 30. We might get a we might get a bullish hammer candle. Since I'm already up for the day, I might risk some more money for a buy here. If we get a bullish hammer candle here, I will buy US 30, 427. This is perfect. This is a long wick. So I need this candle to close as a good bullish candle. Now, if you're done for the day, if you did take this trade with a bigger lot size, as I did, because I said I was going in with 1.25%, you should be up above about 1.5% for the day. So if you're willing to risk that 0.5%, feel free to enter this trade with me. But at this point, I don't want to push too much. But if the market just gives us opportunities, right, why not take them? But I'll go in, take a quick 20 pips. We have 40 seconds. So I will do a 20 pip. Ideally, stop loss should be below that candle. No, it's not closing as a bullish hammer candle. 27 seconds. Let's see. If it doesn't close as a bullish hammer candle, I will not take that trade. Let's see, 15, 14. Let me open my US 30. Trade. No. Nope. So no trade, no buy. It closes on indecisive candle. Does anybody, and again, I don't want to FOMO. Does anybody have any questions regarding any of the strategies we took? I hope you guys made money for the day. You should have if you got in with me. Does anybody have any questions or any feedback for what we just did today?
Yeah, where would there be a reversal for gold? When is it gonna come down? Like, when do you think it could come down?
So remember, like 2 weeks ago, I did say I'm expecting gold to go all the way to 2070 and 2050. So in my experience trading news, a trend breaks out like around this time and maybe through London. So at the very least, I expect a reversal around 1985. So that's where we have a supply zone within a supply zone. If gold breaks that, we are going all the way to 2050. So right now, I wouldn't even be looking to sell. This would just be a quick sell, but keep in mind a trend breaks out. So if we start trending to the upside, gold is going to break this. So I would start looking for gold sells at around what's half of 2070 and 2014. So I'll call that 20, what's that, 50, 55, divide by 2, that's 23. So 37. So start looking for gold sells around 2040. If gold starts a trend right now, do not try to sell at 1985. This is going to get wiped out. Wait for gold at 2035 area. Same as EU. If EU breaks this and starts a trend, EU, we are going to the weekly bearish low. So this is where we are likely to reverse from. Yeah, so I don't see gold. So right now I wouldn't be looking for any reversal. If you want to catch a reversal, use the strategy I showed you guys. Set an alert. So these are my alerts right here on my right. I have a EU crossing 9 EMA, gold crossing 9 EMA, US 30 crossing 9 EMA, so that when a trend, what did I just do? No. Oh wait, I think I just let me see if I can go back. Okay. When a trend breaks out, you want some confirmation for you. So right now, honestly, I'll delete all of this because we are already done trading for the day. So when a trend breaks out and you want to catch the reversal, you want to wait for price to, at the very least, close below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute and retest and close below the 9 EMA. So a good example is that EU short that we entered, because that's the first time after news. Gold closed below, I'm sorry, EU closed below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute, retested the 9 EMA and closed below. So that's why we sold there. But this is not too big of a trend. Let me show you an example of a trend. I think we've seen it before. I don't know if you've already seen it before when I've gone over it, but you want like a continuous trend, like for 30 pips, gold or EU has not closed below. So ideally what you want for 30 pips or 40 pips and above for EU, price has not closed below or above the 9 EMA. For gold, I would say maybe for 100 pips, gold has not closed below or above the 9 EMA. That is what a trend is. And then now you just wait for, you put these alerts on, and then you set them. And then when you get that alert, come back to the chart, wait for the next candle now to close and retest either above or below the 9 EMA. So if you're looking for a reversal, that is what I'll tell you to do. Do not try to catch a reversal right now. So right now I'll tell you EU and gold are bullish. You can see that on the 5-minute. You can see that on the 5-minute as well with gold. US 30 is bearish. There we go. Oh, today was a beautiful day. Did anybody catch this whole move to the downside? As much as we got faked out, we got some good moves. But did I answer your question regarding the reversal?
Yeah. So with gold, we're bullish, isn't it?
Yes, gold is bullish
Yeah.
right now. So no need. So
Alright.
if you're waiting for bearishness, oh wait, okay, so I caught another quick EU sell, but that's just on me. I'm not gonna count that. It's fine. So ideally today, let me close this out. Where was I? So ideally today we should be up what, 1.5%, around 1.5%, right? Yeah, we should be up around 1.5%. Yeah, so if you're looking for a reversal, do you have this indicator on your chart, the one that I just showed, the higher high, lower low strategy?
Yeah.
Okay, so number one, at the very least, wait for a trend to break out and then wait for the first red candle on the 5-minute. So you see the same thing we did with US 30. What did we do? We waited for this red candle and then we waited. So we waited for a candle to either close below the 9 EMA or below this trend line, right? So when we waited for that retracement. This candle blasted above the 9 EMA, did not close below. And then it came to the trend line. And then I went down to the 1-minute and then I said I need for a retest of the trend line and closure below, right? So do the same thing with gold. At the very least, wait for the first red candle to even start looking for sells, right? Because if you just back test this visually and you'll see that if you only just bought and sold without even thinking, you can make money easily with this strategy. I don't recommend using it on gold and EU. So if you're going to use this strategy by itself on gold and EU, use the 15-minute time frame, because gold and EU are not as volatile as US 30. So look at here, right? Gold, if we go on the 15-minute time frame, gold has been bearish. Like look at this one right here, right? If you just waited for the first red candle, waited for the retest of the 9 EMA, you could have rode this whole, so this is a whole downtrend on the 15-minute. And guess what, right? So this is what I'm talking about, a trend. No one candle on the 15-minute closed above and retested the 9 EMA, right? So even here, we had a closure above the 9 EMA on the 15-minute. Wait, is this? Yeah, this is a bullish candle because it has green outline. Closed above, then you'd get an alert here that guess what? Gold just closed above the 9 EMA after a long time. So you'd come here and then wait for the next 15-minute candle to close above, to retest the 9 EMA and close above. So for here, you wouldn't have bought gold here. So guess what? You keep doing your own stuff. You keep moving around. The next time you get an alert, guess what? Here, your alert tells you gold just closed above the 9 EMA on the 15-minute. You come back. You wait for the next candle to close above the 9 EMA and reject up. Guess what? The next candle engulfs all of these candles. So remember, even people who are blindly buying, they're still in drawdown. But for you, you still have your entire margin. You don't get an alert this whole time. You do not get any alert. Here is where you get an alert, right? You get an alert. Guess what? Gold has closed above the 9 EMA on the 15-minute. Guess what? You wait for the next candle. The next candle is still red, but the next candle closes above the 9 EMA, retest the 9 EMA and closes above. At this point, you're safer buying gold here, even though it's in a downtrend. You're safer buying gold here than you are here. Guess what? You just saved 1965 to 1940. You just saved yourself a 250 pip drawdown. You can afford to get into a filler buy on gold here. You get into a filler buy here. Our stop loss for gold is 50 pips. You enter here, right? This is the thing about patience, right? The first time it closed above, retested and closed above, you enter there, get a 50 pip stop loss, 50 pip take profit. And because we're in a downtrend, you can use a smaller lot size. Guess what? You hit take profit, even with a small lot size. But then you keep waiting, right, until the first green candle. You get your first green candle here, right? This whole time we haven't had a green candle since, so this was Wednesday, March 22nd. The last time we had a trend was Tuesday, March 21st. So for one whole day, we haven't had a green candle. Guess what? You find your first green candle here. So this one, you'd have to be in front of the charts. I am going to work to get an indicator build so that we have this one set up like the way I have the semaphore indicator. So actually the person who was messaging me was my programmer, but I'll work on getting us this to help us. So, but if you're in front of the charts, you find your first green candle. What's the strategy here? Our strategy, draw a trend line. Our entry is either retest of a trend line, retest of the 9 EMA. Guess what? Instead of buying up here, even though you could have bought, if you're just following this strategy blindly, you could have bought up here. 500 pips stop loss, 500 pips take profit, right? This one you'd have gotten stopped out, but remember, we are using our strategy. We don't just buy on impulse. We need a retest of the 9 EMA, retest of the trend line, or retest of the structure. We have a structure here that's a lower high. I mean, yeah, but remember, we need an optimum entry. Optimal entry would have been here, retest of the 9 EMA. You wait for this candle, closes above the 9 EMA. The next candle, you enter your buy, right? There you go. You hit take profit. So that's if you're looking for a reversal. And for this ones, because you're looking for a reversal, you can ride this trade even longer, right? But I don't recommend just saying, okay, since we now have a green momentum, if I see the next red candle, I'm going to sell. If you sold on this red candle, even if you're waiting for a retest, you would have gotten stopped out. But if your sentiment or if your analysis lines up for a buy or a sell, go ahead and buy and sell. If you get stopped out, that is fine. If it aligned, that is fine. But so that's how you use this strategy. So this strategy, if gold and EU breaks out, use the 15-minute time frame, because ideally gold and EU move a little bit slower. So wait for the first red candle on the 15-minute on gold and EU. US 30, we can be using the 5-minute candle. No worries, we can be doing the 5-minute candle. But then on US 30, we can be using even the 15-minute to tell us the overall direction as well. So I hope I made sense explaining how we can use that candle. Let me know if I did. Yeah, the person who asked about the reversal. Yeah, but in short, for this trade, for that particular confluence, EU and gold, use the 15-minute and wait for the opposite to take place, and then you'll make a lot of money. So we are going to be using this strategy. You can see it helped us in recovering our loss for the day. But other than that, does anybody else have any questions? And I hope you guys can still hear me. Hopefully I'm not out here frozen. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Today was an amazing FOMC. If you caught all the trades I took, unfortunately, we started the day off with a losing trade, but that's the best part about risk management, we were only down 0.5%. US 30, we missed a couple of entries, but we waited for the perfect entry and we caught an amazing sell on US 30, and US 30 is still dropping. So other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow morning for the live session. And, you know, congrats to everybody who made money today. If you guys were still learning, well and good, we'll be ready for the next move, whether it's NFP or CPI. So now you guys know how I normally trade news. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. And of course, EU is coming back down. Okay. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.